Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're breaking down an absolute game changer of a cinematic event. We're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. We are going to look at how a relatively simple identity crisis totally spirals out of control into a reality-breaking multiverse breach, and of course we'll be analyzing the massive, profound legacy of Peter Parker's choices. So, let's get into it.
Picture this for a second. What if your deepest, most heavily guarded secret, your actual identity, was suddenly exposed to the entire world without your permission? And what if, because of that exposure, terrifying enemies from parallel universes started hunting you down? No way, right? Well, that is the incredibly desperate predicament Peter Parker suddenly finds himself in.
Okay, so let's look at Section 1, the identity crisis. Going from a hero to the most wanted person alive.
Which brings us to Section 2, breaking the multiverse, the spell that completely shattered reality.
Okay, let's walk through how this chronological domino effect actually plays out. Driven totally to desperation by his now ruined life, Peter goes to Doctor Strange and asks for a global memory wipe spell. But here's the thing. Precision is absolutely crucial in magic, and as it turns out, repeatedly interrupting a master sorcerer while he's actively altering the fabric of reality, yeah, that's a terrible idea. Actually, scratch that. It's like playing with dynamite. Peter panics, right? He keeps changing the rules on the fly to spare his friends' memories, which makes the magic highly volatile. And the immediate consequence of this completely botched spell, a literal tear opens up in the multiverse.
And through that broken, torn reality, some truly iconic villains cross over. We're talking the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Electro, Sandman, and the Lizard. But you gotta understand, these aren't just random threats. They are essentially ghosts pulled from alternate universes. And they all share one common, absolutely terrifying trait. They know exactly who Peter Parker is, and they've arrived with a singular, laser-focused goal to destroy Spider-Man.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive moral crossroads Peter is stuck at. I mean, the easy utilitarian path here is just to send them all back to die in their own timelines, right? Problem solved. But Peter's moral core dictates a totally different path. He has this profound realization that these villains are actually broken individuals, so he decides to cure them. He actively chooses to save them from their own darkness. It's a complete 180 from the original plan.
Moving on to Section 3, the tragic cost, betrayal and heartbreak.
You know, they say no good deed goes unpunished, and wow, is that ever true here? The Green Goblin brutally betrays everyone, and in the massive chaos that follows, Peter suffers a catastrophic, world-shattering loss. Aunt May is killed. But right before she passes, she gives him the ultimate lesson. With great power comes great responsibility. In her very final moments, she completely validates his choice to save his enemies. It transforms this incredibly famous phrase into the emotional fulcrum of the entire story.
All right, Section 4, 3 spiders, 1 fight. The multiverse teams up. So, to face these literally impossible odds, the impossible actually happens. Spider-Man from alternate universes, yep, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire stepped through the portals to help. But the crucial point is their team-up objective. It's totally unique. They aren't fighting to kill these guys, they're fighting to cure them. Using their combined scientific genius, they're synthesizing antidotes for each foe right in the middle of a massive battle. Peter essentially proves that heroism isn't just about winning a fistfight, it's about healing people.
And finally, Section 5, the ultimate sacrifice, erasing Peter Parker.
Picture the multiverse actively collapsing in the sky right above them. A final, incredibly drastic decision has to be made to seal those tears for good. So Peter tells Doctor Strange to cast a brand new spell. Everyone must completely forget that Peter Parker ever existed. He willingly sacrifices his relationships with Ned, with MJ. He completely erases his own identity just to save reality. He's left with no friends, no family, and no past. He's choosing to continue on fully alone. We see him step out of a tiny, cramped apartment into the snow. He's totally anonymous, yet he's still carrying the heavy mantle of Spider-Man. Which brings us to the final thought I really want to leave you with today. Is being a hero truly worth losing absolutely everything? This explainer reminds us that true heroism isn't just about punching out the bad guys, it's about the agonizing, crushing weight of responsibility. Because sometimes saving the world means you have to completely give up your own. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today, and I really hope this leaves you thinking a bit differently about the true cost of wearing the mask.